This Week in Connecticut with Dennis House starts now.
Welcome to This Week in Connecticut. Greetings, everyone. I'm Dennis House. Straight ahead today, Congressman John Larson gets another challenge from inside the Democratic Party. Today, State Representative Jillian Gilchrest joins me. Also, meet a trailblazer, the highest-ranking woman in the state criminal justice system. Deputy Chief State's Attorney Lisa D'Angelo is with us. Plus, we are talking women's basketball with UConn legend and sportscaster Megan Colmo. But first, the hotly contested race for Connecticut's first congressional district, which includes the city of Hartford and many suburbs all the way to Torrington. Congressman John Larson is seeking re-election, but a handful of his fellow Democrats aren't making it easy. Today, his newest challenger, a highly regarded member of the state legislature. And joining me now is the newest candidate in the race for the first congressional district of Connecticut, State Representative Jillian Gilchrest. And Representative Gilchrest, good to see you here in the program.
Good to see you. Thank you for having me.
So why did you decide you wanted to run for Congress?
I just feel like we can't wait for the change we need in Washington. People are struggling. What's going on with the Trump administration is just bad day after day. And so I think we need new voices down there.
How did the conversation go when you told Congressman Larson you were going to run?
So I had a conversation with him back in March or April, letting him know I was trying my best to respect his timeline. And then come this summer, when it became clear I couldn't wait anymore, I let him know I would be getting in. He understands. He says, it's a democratic process. And so, yeah, I've entered the race.
Do you think he served too long?
I do. I do. I respect the congressman. I appreciate anyone who gives their life to public service. But I think that we've gotten to a point where we need other people to step in and push for the change we need in this country.
Would you support term limits in Congress?
I'm open to term limits, certainly. I feel, though, if the goal is to get new voices and ideas, lower hanging fruit policy is campaign finance reform. But that said, yes, I am open to term limits.
If you look around the Congress, there's a senator who's 90. There are people who've served. Rosa DeLauro is going to be 82 or 83, I believe. She served a long time. Do you think that these people should decide that it's time to go and let the next generation?
I think more so than age, it's about leadership and results. And so I think when you get to a point, you've got to ask yourself, have I been able to move the policies I've been working on? Have I been championing policies that are needed? And have I been listening to the voices of the community? And that's what I think we're missing right now in Washington. I think we're missing legislators who go out and listen to people, learn from their experiences, and then go down there, work day in and day out to pass policy.
What will be on your list of priorities should you decide, should you be elected?
Yes. Well, first and foremost, like I keep saying, people are struggling financially, and we have some of the highest wealth inequality we've ever had in this country. So I want to look at how corporations are benefiting off the backs of working people. And so I want to look at living wages, paid family leave, a robust public education system. And I also want to reform healthcare. Democrats certainly passed an important policy, but that was more than a decade ago, and it's slid to the point where folks can't access the care they need.
As you look at the Trump administration so far, it's been in office for about 9 months. Do you see any common ground at all that you could work with them if elected?
I don't.
None at all?
The Trump administration is just tearing down our democracy. They are breaking laws, and unfortunately, the Republicans in Congress are doing nothing to stop him.
And what would you do to try to stop him if you're elected?
So going out and, yes.
As a freshman lawmaker, let's hypothetically speaking, you get elected, you'll go in January 27. What would you do to try to stop some of his policies?
So I would do similar to what I've done at the state legislature is build relationships. First and foremost in my own party to understand who's doing what and how can we push for the change we need. I'd be connecting with advocacy groups and those who are pushing for the change we want. And then working to pass policies day in and day out.
Let's talk about some of the other candidates who are running for office. We've had them all on this show, all of the ones who are running for CT1. We've had Larson, Bronin, Fortune, and Perry. What makes you more qualified than them, in your opinion?
So I'm a social worker. That's my background. I came into the field of public policy with that lens. And what that means is that I want to make positive change because I want to impact people's lives. And so I go out and I listen. I learn from people's experiences, and then I translate that into effective policy. And I think what's missing in Washington right now is that people's voices are not being heard, and so I bring that skill set to Washington.
There are some who say that they use Congress as a stepping stone to something bigger. Do you see yourself as wanting to serve for a while?
So to me, I will serve as long as I am effective. To me, these positions, right now I'm in the State House, been there for 7 years, now I'm running for Congress. It's to get into a position so I can make the most positive change in the time I have there. That's all that it's about for me.
Who have you sought out for advice, if you can share some conversations and some advice you've been given?
Yes, I've reached out to folks in the various towns in the 1st Congressional District, former legislators who served as mentors to me, folks on Democratic town committees, really just been going out and listening and learning from as many people as possible.
If you were in a debate with all the candidates, which you eventually will be, what would be something that you would pose to, let's start with Congressman Larson. What would you say to him?
I would ask...
If you could ask him a question.
Sure. I would ask him what are his top 5 accomplishments in the time he's been in Congress.
Do you think he's been a disappointment?
I think that his focus has been on one particular policy to the detriment of other policies. And so, you know, Social Security is incredibly important. But there are also a number of other things impacting people's daily lives that have fallen to the wayside. We can look at, again, the Affordable Care Act, public education, climate. We need people who are working day in and day out to push for that change.
And if you were to pose a question to the former mayor of Hartford, Luke Bronin, what would you say to him?
I suppose I would ask about his policy background. I know he's led a city, but would be interested to know what policy change he's been able to implement.
You represent West Hartford now, but if elected to the 1st District, you'll be representing a wide swath of towns, including the city of Hartford will be the biggest one there. In your judgment, because you can actually see it from being an outsider in West Hartford, what do you think Hartford needs to improve, and what could you do in Congress to help it?
I'd want to go and listen to the voices of those in the community to hear what they think would be beneficial to improve conditions in Hartford. I think investment in public schools, investment in housing, but really supporting folks who live there, they know best.
And as you look across the rest of the district, 'cause it's very diverse, right? You'll be representing parts of Torrington, and it's an oddly shaped district. You have to drive through Avon to get to Torrington, but you're not going to represent Avon.
Yes.
So what have you been learning about these towns as you travel?
That they are very different. I was just out in Granby, and like you said, Torrington, New Hartford, East Hartford, it's so diverse. So that's where I think really going out and listening and learning from folks in the community to understand what each area needs from their congressperson is so important.
Are you sensing an appetite for change as you meet people?
I am. People are not happy with the current conditions and are seeking a new vision and a new voice in Washington.
Jillian Gilchrest, state representative representing West Hartford, now a candidate for Congress in the 1st Congressional District. Best of luck, and we'll see you back here again.
Thank you.
And when we come back, a Connecticut prosecutor making history.